One of them is real and one of them is fake. I want to show you two video clips. One of them is real and one of them is fake. Can you tell which one's real?
Left side.
Okay, this one was kind of easy. Obviously, this is the fake one. Like, you can see the color on the face isn't quite right.
Yeah, the shadowing is terrible.
Like a wig. But this video was like from a few years ago. Let's look at a more recent example.
Oh, wait a minute.
Look at these two clips. One of them is real and one of them is fake.
Real's right side because I saw the video.
Can you tell which one it is?
Guys, I'm eating Chick-fil-A right now.
Yeah, but also not a lot of movement on the face is usually what they use to make things not look terrible.
Okay, what about these?
Left fake.
Or these?
Oh shit,
which one
I
of
failed.
These is fake and which one of these is real?
Oh, real left side, left side.
Maybe you're some wizard and you could
chat.
tell, but I couldn't. And my guess is that most people can't. That's because things have changed.
I've never seen it quite like this.
This technology is spreading rapidly.
It's really
Mind-blowing.
Deep fakes.
Deep fakes.
Deep Tom Cruise was a tipping point for deep fakes.
It's all real.
In the last few years, we've crossed a threshold into a world where moving images are manipulated in ways that make them indistinguishable from reality. This is our new world. It is the world of high-quality deep fakes.
The catastrophic potential to public trust and to markets that could come from deepfake attacks.
This is happening quicker than any of us could have imagined. So,
Chat, am I wrong in the thought that like saying it is good, making laws on it is good, whatever, but it's kind of hard to slow it down or stop it? Only time will tell. Like, there's not much you could do. Like, the technology is out there, the knowledge is out there, people know it exists, they can be done better and easier, and they will do it. And it's like,
I want to get you up to speed on what's happening with
did I
deep
squeak again?
fakes.
Why do I
How they're
squeak these days?
revolutionizing entertainment.
It's all my fault.
And creating new challenges and fears for the people who make our laws and the people who enforce those laws.
Make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time.
Ultimately, I want to show you how much of a threat deepfakes actually pose and answer the biggest question of all. What is even real?
Seeing is not believing anymore.
Okay, it's actually me. This is the real Johnny. I promise this is not a deepfake. I promise. I'm not like gonna do like some little bait and switch. I need to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, which is a thing I'm really excited about. I'm genuinely excited. Not nervous. You can sign up and have 30 days risk-free where you can get all your money back if you feel like it's not useful to you. 30 days. Use the link. Go sign up.
I'm posting
Thank
it.
you, Incognito.
Guys, I watched this video. I'm posting this thing in the
Let's dive back
chat.
into the wild, weird world of deepfakes. Okay, let's just be clear. We've been faking the moving image for at least 100 years. Thomas Edison wanted to spice up his news reporting from the front lines of the Spanish-American War back in like the end of the 1800s. So to do this, he shot some fake battle scenes in New Jersey and then cut them together with shots from Cuba, making this look like it was happening in Cuba, and it wasn't. And for the next 100 years, motion picture manipulation remained as crude and simplistic as Edison's sneaky editing. But then suddenly, in 2014, with the invention of a new type of AI, everything started to change.
Incredibly realistic so-called deep fakes.
How similar it is. Is there a way to know when this is fake and to tell when it's fake?
We now have the ability to make people look like other people. Like, I could be Johnny.
I don't think it's fear-mongering.
I could be Nick the studio manager. Look, I'm Nick the studio manager right now. I could also be Tom the music composer. And what's crazy is even if you go back and watch what I just showed you frame by frame, you likely won't be able to tell. Let me explain how on earth we did this. We can do all of this because of this clever computing process. It's called Generative Adversarial Networks, or GANs.
Chat,
this is where
there was a tiny bit of uncanny valley in that, right? I think if they fix the neck and some of the lighting, it would have been... Since it's a tiny bit off, there's a little bit of uncanny valley.
Two AIs work in tandem to get the best fake image possible. So you have these two AIs. One of them is a forger, and the other is a detective. The forger creates an image based on what you ask it to make, and then it shows that image to the other AI, the detective. The detective goes over the image and points out all of the reasons it's fake. It knows what to look for because it's been trained on hundreds, sometimes thousands of images of exactly what the finished products are supposed to look like. The forger is like, okay, cool, let me try again. And it goes away and it makes another image, fixing the pixels that the detective AI pointed out. Then it shows it to the detective. The detective AI once again points out all of the weaknesses in the fake image. And the forger goes back and makes a new one. and over and over and over again. And so the longer you give one of these AI models to train on, it basically goes through this creation and improvement cycle over and over until you get the...
I feel like only a human can really kind of tell the human aspect of why it doesn't look human. And I think having maybe machine learning have the human feedback on why it doesn't look real, right? Integrating to this could even accelerate that. No? Am I wrong? Chat. Something can look really fucking good, and there's something human about it, right?
The best deep fake possible. There are many ways to train a deep fake, but this is the most common, and it's actually how we got the deep fake that we're running on this clip right now. My face is slowly morphing into something else,
right. Okay.
And it's basically pixel perfect. We had to run a training model on this face for 2 weeks, but it got really good. Look, it's like amazing. I'm not me. I mean, I am me, but I'm not me to you.
See, the way I can put it, chat, yeah, there's a video about this check called Uncanny Valley. It's when something is off and you don't know what it is, but you know it's off, right? It's a tiny bit off the mark, even a slight amount, and it makes it just, right?
I'm not me. I mean, I am me.
And there are things
in
there that give you that.
And that's kind of nuts.
We're about to enter
And if you can target it.
An important point here is that we used to have to train these models on huge amounts of data. You need a lot of footage from someone's face to train these models, which is why it's mostly worked on like actors who have a lot of high quality face data available. It's how you get deep fakes like this.
You like what you're seeing? Just wait till what's coming next.
Or how you get Jim Carrey imposed onto Jack Nicholson's face in The Shining.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
Or Willem Dafoe in Silence of the Lambs instead of Anthony Hopkins.
That looks terrible.
These last two clips were done by a super talented deepfake artist named Control-Shift-Face.
That was terrible.
And he's actually the one who's doing the deepfakes for this video too. He's the artist behind that video that went super viral a few years ago of Bill Hader doing an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression and turning into Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Get out of this, the bomb in there, get out!
And he's now working at a deepfake production company called Deep Voodoo, where he worked on that Kendrick Lamar video. Yes, that Kendrick Lamar video.
For me personally, it's exciting because I can like do these goofy, funny movie remixes that I can put on YouTube. I really enjoy that.
And yes, when I was talking to him in our interview, he was using a live deep fake mask and changing between different characters, and it kind of blew my mind.
Oh my god, sorry, you just changed to Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, I have a lot of faces up my sleeve.
That is just weird.
Oh my god. Wow, I was not ready for that.
Deep faking has already started to shape the entertainment industry. Filmmakers.
Chad, what if you do your online interviews at some places via Zoom and you look better, you look more happy and shit like that, and it gives you a more compelling story on why you should be hired.
Are using deepfake technology to translate films into other languages.
And it's all my fault.
They can de-age celebrities.
I thought we went anywhere. And we're back.
There's a 6-part TV show in the UK about a bunch of rowdy neighbors, and guess what? All of these characters are all deep-faked celebrities.
Did move some of Kim's things. I'm sorry about that.
2 years ago, if someone told me something like this would exist, I don't think I would believe him. And what will be next in like another 2, 3, 5 years?
It's getting to the point where deepfakes are nearly impossible to decipher as computer generated, which is super exciting, but also kind of scary.
The FBI tells NBC News they're following the rapidly developing technology closely.
I believe that this is the next wave of attacks against America.
I'm real looking.
It's a real concern. It's a real concern.
And this is where we talk about the doom and gloom part. And
how is it exciting? Because then you can have more content that normally you wouldn't be able to do, right? On the basis of that, it breaks the limitations on some production and accelerates the thing, and it widens the amount of content you can make out of one piece of media, one person, or so there's good and there's bad. But do you think that there's no good is wrong? It expands and accelerates like crazy.
And this is where we talk about the doom and gloom part. And for that, yes, I have a lot of paper. Lawmakers and law enforcement are getting worried about this technology. Here's a letter from Congress to the Director of National Intelligence, raising the alarm that hyper-realistic digital forgeries, popularly referred to as deepfakes, use sophisticated machine learning techniques to produce convincing depictions of individuals doing or saying things that they never did. I kind of love when Congress talks about technology. And this is the most important line. By blurring the line between fact and fiction, deepfake technology could undermine public trust in recorded images and video as objective depictions of reality. Oh, and by the way, this letter...
Oh, now it's a problem.
...was back in 2018,
oh, shit.
basically the Stone
That's
Age
crazy.
for AI image generation. More recently, I saw a Democratic senator giving his opening remarks to his colleagues in Congress via a deep-faked voice that sounded...
Oh, shit, it's always been a problem. What the fuck?
...perfectly like him.
We have seen what happens.
I just spilled my coffee on myself.
Regulation.
But it's not just American lawmakers. Europol, which is the European International Police Agency, says that experts estimate that as much as 90% of online content may be synthetically generated by 2026. 90%. Meaning AI will be making most of the stuff that we watch on the internet. Their big fear in all of this is that deepfakes will, quote, lead to a situation where citizens no longer have a shared reality, causing what they call
an information apocalypse.
Here is a 43-page report from the US Department of Homeland Security. And look at this title page. I mean, look at that graphic design. Especially this moment where it goes from a classic sans serif to a serif. I mean, not bad for the government. DHS says that deepfakes and the misuse of synthetic content pose a clear, present, and evolving threat to the public across national security, law enforcement, financial, and societal domains.
That's true.
The Pentagon is using its big research wing, the one that helped invent, I don't know, the GPS, the COVID vaccine, and the literal internet, that one, to look into deepfakes.
Chad, just think about identity theft, right? You can really have somebody, you can really pretend to be somebody else, right? And have a data bank of their face and be like, okay, I'll do a video or I'll do a picture with a thing that says it's me or whatever, and you can easily fucking recreate that.
And how to combat them. Like, they're taking this very seriously. But my big problem with all of these reports is they're couched in such vague language. What can deepfakes actually be used for outside of making really cool Kendrick Lamar music videos and TikTok Tom Cruises?
I think it's bubblegum. Yeah, you can tell that's fake though. I don't
to get a taste, look no further than Ukraine.
The Russian president says a military operation is now underway in eastern Ukraine.
Column of Russian armor crossing into Ukrainian territory from the north.
Спочатку
Thank
я вирішив повернути Донбас.
This is not Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
Bro, this is bro, come on, man. Bro, the top of the head looks stitched on. The lighting makes no sense at all, dude. Dude, just look at the shadows and lighting. It's dog shit.
Deepfaked video that
there's more shadows on his cheeks than there is on his neck, and it's under his chin.
Appeared on a Russian language Ukrainian news site just 4 weeks after Russia invaded Ukraine. Russian troops were trying to take over Kiev, which would have meant a massive victory for Putin. Information on the ground was scant and foggy, and this video pops up of Volodymyr Zelensky urging his troops to surrender to Russian forces. Now listen, this is kind of a crappy version of a deepfake. I mean, misshapen head, weird accent and voice, wasn't super pulled off. But guess what? It doesn't matter.
Yep,
because what this video did do is it made people question every other video coming out of Ukraine. And this is what Congress meant when they were freaking out in 2018 about the idea of deepfakes blurring the line between fact and fiction, undermining trust in recorded images and videos as objective depictions of reality. And this is actually, so far in my reporting on this, the biggest takeaway. I don't know if we realize what a big shift this is. As deepfake technology gets better, yes, it allows people to create compelling fake evidence, and that is worrisome, but it also allows people to dismiss real evidence, real footage, as, oh, that's just a deep fake. We can do that now. We can't trust anything.
It's not just
what but was it ever nah, you know what, chat? Guys, I don't think I
almost upon us.
I still don't think it's a bad thing. I still don't think it's a bad thing. Believing everything is real, okay, is just bad as believing everything is fake, okay? When you're stuck in the middle, in some gray area, then there's damage.
They could create, it's the doubt that is cast on authentic.
I think doubting is fine.
Audio.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to another
doubting with
concrete
verification
threat
is
here
good
to get us away from all the vague language of government agencies talking about how scary this all is. Think about the legal system.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Deepfakes are becoming a nightmare for evidence in court. In 2020, there was a child custody case where the mother presented as evidence audio recording of the child's father saying violent things over the phone. It was submitted as legit evidence, as proof to be like, this dad is unfit to have the kid. But after some digital forensics, it became clear that the mother had used an online tutorial and some cheap software to doctor the audio file to add in fake violent words. Most judges and juries are not ready for this. Most wouldn't think to question evidence like this that sounds like a smoking gun, and yet was totally fake. This sort
I think it's why metadata is super important.
of technology is getting so accessible and easy to use. In fact, this VO that you're listening to right now is actually fake. I made it using a cheap and easy software widely available to anyone. Now imagine that you're on a jury and you're presiding over a criminal case. And even though there may not be any manipulated evidence in front of you, there's now a nagging voice in the back of your mind that's like, remember that time that Johnny tricked me in that YouTube video? And he made his face change, and now he looks like...
Or the defense lawyers, whatever, point at the fact it could be fake, or even hint, or just put the idea out there in a random question, and now it's in their head.
Someone else, and it wasn't really him, and it was really convincing. Who's to say all of this visual evidence that I'm seeing in court isn't also fake? Visual evidence is no longer rock solid. Surveillance footage, body cam footage, heck, even audio taken in a bus from a presidential candidate. This was all solid at one point, and now it can all be called into question. And then, of course, deepfakes are being used for good old-fashioned cybercrime. Man, cybercrime, it just sounds so quaint. Cybercrime. Elon Musk was recently faked to help shill a new crypto scam.
X.net, a site that will help ordinary people to gain financial independence.
And yeah, this one's obviously fake and poorly done. My point is they're getting better, and some scams are already way more persuasive. Like this group of fraudsters who were able to clone the voice of a major bank director and then use it to steal $35 million in cold hard cash. $35 million.
That's a lot of money.
Just by deepfaking this guy's voice and like using it to make a phone call to transfer a bunch of money. And it worked. Okay, but in reality, the risk of eroding trust in the public or weakening our legal system or giving cyber criminals a new weapon, all of these are actually the rarest uses of deepfakes. The main victims of this new technology, at least at the moment, are women.
These sexually suggestive ads are popping up online.
Yo!
Of these deepfakes.
She's been deepfaked.
That's not me.
By one estimate, 96% of deepfake production is used...
Bro, classic news site, dude. This person does not want to be sexualized in a video. And here's the intro to the video. And shows her going down. Like, what the fuck is wrong with the media these days, man?
Produce porn. Almost all of which are using women who have not consented to this. Just 2 years ago, Telegram got in trouble because it was found that they had private groups on their service that were using deepfake technology to remove the clothes of more than 100,000 women. It used to just be the faces of celebrities because they're the ones who have all this high quality data out in the world that you can train a model on. But no longer. The tech has developed such that an ordinary person with a few images on social media could suddenly have their faces deep-faked onto the body of a porn star.
Martin has found dozens of doctored images and videos of herself. She has no idea who's responsible for them.
Okay, but what's being done about this? What can be done? Let's first remember that when a new technology comes along, it typically evolves rapidly. Way faster than the lawmakers who need to understand it.
Sorry to pause again, chat. Guys, what if people get it so advanced that they're putting something that makes an account that takes people, does that to the images, and then send it, right? Then they create a proxy of liability. Oh well, I didn't do it. This thing did it, right? And it posted it. I mean, it creates another layer. I mean, it's not them doing it.
To regulate it do. So we're in the kind of Wild West phase where the lawmakers are kind of just trying to get their head around this stuff.
Let's hope that Congress can catch up.
China is actually the first country to have regulated what they call deep synthesis technologies by requiring all deep fake content to be clearly marked as having been modified. Luckily, a surveillance state is a lot easier to regulate this kind of stuff. But the EU is trying.
In an ambitious bill called the
I think that was a good point.
Boy, do I love going through European Commission PowerPoint slides. Like China, the EU is trying to make it so that you have to label deep fakes. But of course, in a Western democracy, you have to put this line, unless necessary for the exercise of a fundamental right or freedom, or for reasons of public interest. Oh man, those pesky rights always getting in the way of being able to regulate stuff. The UK is also trying to figure this out. They are targeting the porn situation, the one that is the vast majority of the uses of deepfakes. Doing deepfake porn without consent comes with a penalty of prison.
Chad, you have to be, people have to be careful, okay? Maybe, oh yeah, this is good, this is good, this is good. But then at the same time, sometimes there's collateral damage. Yes, you have to apply caution.
Though,
because some
it's
legitimate
super hard
things
to enforce this stuff. That's
might
what's so
be hurt
tricky,
by that,
but
and
they're
there's
trying.
collateral.
Will the government take urgent action and repair this mess?
And then there's tech companies, like here on YouTube. They say that they will pull down any video that, quote, includes deceptive uses of manipulated media, i.e. deep fakes, which may pose serious risk of harm. Who decides what serious risk of harm is? But one promising solution here would be to fight software with software. If we could train software to detect the quirks of deep fakes, like the unnatural blinking, or some of the other weird subtle things that the human eye can't pick up on, we would have a strong way of verifying what is...
Chat, wouldn't this be exactly, chat, like cheats and anti-cheats, where once one wave has been found, then it's GG, right? Then it's GG. Because once you found what makes it bad, and then you finally, you punish or you revert, then they know what does that, right? So it's the same thing as anti-cheats.
Is real footage and what is distorted. So deepfakes are here, and they're seemingly here to stay. We are entering a new chapter of how humans consume and relate to information. It's a chapter as significant in my mind as some of the other big chapters, like when we learned to capture light and record it. It changed the world. Photographs could be used in court as proof. They could be used in science to capture and understand the world around us. In journalism, it allowed us to show, not just tell. And when we made those images move, we could capture more truth, more proof, more evidence.
Chat, you got me. You got me.
And spread those images far and wide.
Every stream for the past
Truth
3 years.
and evidence coursed through the world's internet. This evolution of the moving image and its uses in the connected world is taking an unexpected turn away from being the bedrock of evidence and towards the foggy territory of deception and confusion.
Chat,
we're gonna have...
If you can say something isn't fake, you can say that it also is fake, right? What if there was something real and you can say, well, it was fake, it was fake, but it wasn't.
To navigate this chapter carefully. We're gonna have to push even harder to know where our images came from, who made them, and for what purpose. And we're gonna have to resist the urge to believe everything we see, no matter how real it looks.
I'm watching. Well, I'm watching, I'm not listening. It's just, at the end, it was just words. Chat, that was interesting.
It is July 17th, 2023, and you're watching The Code Report. The internet has a big problem. When you look at an image, how do you know if it's real? This image of the Pope tricked millions of grandmas worldwide. When you hear someone's voice, how do you know it's real? And this is not my real voice. It's a professional clone from 11 Labs. My biggest fear as a digital creator is that tools like this will be used to fully replicate my online swagger and make me irrelevant. It's already happening to people. Like, I legit thought that Greta launched her own oil company recently.
Welcome to my oil company. I love how it is pumped out of the ground.
I'm a huge fan of oil and use it all the time, as you can see here in this documentary from Honeypot that borrowed my deepfake animatron to make it look like I'm not AI generated. Luckily though, there's a new coalition in town that includes friendly megacorporations like Adobe and Microsoft who have stepped up to rescue us from these generative AI problems that they created. It's called the Coalition for Content Provenance and Authenticity, or C2PA. Not many people know about it yet, but it should be on every developer's radar because it could change the internet as we know it. Basically, it's a spec or set of guidelines for both hardware and software providers that would attach metadata to every media file, like images, videos, audio, and so on, then use cryptography to digitally sign it, making every file tamper aware. The idea is to make it impossible to change a pixel without the provenance of those changes being recorded on the file itself, or to a manifest that is permanently attached to that file. The first record will happen on the camera where the photo is taken, then when you go to edit in Photoshop, another record will be logged and signed there. It's almost like every image will become an NFT, minus the blockchain. You'll be able to click on this icon to inspect the provenance information to determine if that image was generated by AI, or determine if it comes from a trusted news source like BuzzFeed or InfoWars. This technology is already here, and just last week the coalition was urging the US Senate to put laws on the books that would make this technology essential.
And we propose Congress establish a new federal anti-impersonation right that would give artists a right to enforce against someone intentionally attempting to impersonate their style or likeness.
That actually sounds great. As a creator, I don't want to be impersonated, and as an end user, I want to make sure that I'm consuming authentic content. And it would be very useful to companies like Valve, who have recently started banning games on Steam that are suspected of using AI generated.
I mean, people steal and copy styles since the fucking beginning of art, yo. Like, it's just kind of how it is.
Content that could potentially violate someone's copyright. And other top companies like Stability AI are
start abusing that, then it's going to be stupid.
Our platform can be digitally stamped with metadata and watermarks. We welcome Adobe's leadership in driving the development of some of these open standards.
And not surprisingly, the US Department of Defense is on board because they believe this technology can help surface bad actors, like Steven Seagal or anyone else creating horrible synthetic content. Sounds pretty awesome, and I love when big corporations team up with the government to keep me safe, but when looked at from another angle, this could be viewed as a mass surveillance apparatus. In the future, it may be impossible to change a pixel on the internet without leaving a digital footprint. Currently, the spec allows for anonymity, but it talks about how this technology can be used with digital IDs issued by the government that would make it far easier to figure out who's creating all these memes that are offensive to our dear leaders. When this technology is combined with a digital currency and social credit system, we could easily shut down the meme warriors' internet access and reduce their allowance of lab-grown meat to just 12 ounces per week. In addition, it would give the establishment a monopoly on disinformation. Hypothetically, they could create all the AI-generated content they want while making it look trustworthy. And the vast majority of people out there will believe whatever authorities tell them. Like if this image had a NASA provenance signature on it, almost everybody would believe that we went to Mars, even though it's not a real place you can go to. In 1981, the CIA director said, "We'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false." This has been the Code Report. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
To them, much love. SKRRRRR.
It is June 20.
Chat. That was interesting. New Vertasium looks good.
No man, this deep fake shit is mad scary.
Yo, this is X on the beat, yo. Okay.
You heard my voice as well.
That S.
Anyone knows that boy? I don't know, he's just so soy. Anyone knows that boy? I don't know, he's just so soy.